I just woke up right now. It is like past 6 a.m. and I just brushed my teeth right now, and I am talking to my camera because it has been, let's say, give or take 2 years since I focused on um, vlogging, and I want to get used to it again. So I'm just trying to record little bits of my life by getting used to talking to a camera again. I have no idea what this is going to do for me because I've always been the type of person who wanted to record bits of her life. I have found out that although I'm having better days now, I barely remember anything. And when I get down like that, I barely have memories that I could, look back and scroll. And I blame my phone for that because in 2026, I am still using a 64 gig iPhone 8 Plus. And I've said I'm gonna change my phone, but then I've had other priorities like paying rent, buying a new laptop, and a whole lot of other things. So hopefully, this is the year that I get to change my phone. But for now, this is it. Oh my god, why was it so dark? This is my laptop, my pen, and my notepad. I have two notepads now, but this is the one that I write down things for my story. And this is where I cross all the chapters that I have written. Let's talk a little bit about my non existent morning routine. I say non existent because I actually do have a list of things that I do in the morning. Like the first thing I do when I get up from bed is pray. I pray before I come out of the bed so I don't forget. I pray, then I pee, and then I brush my teeth. Oh my god, I felt like TMI, but oh, you deal with it. But anyway, I brush my teeth and then I wash my face a little bit to try and bring the life back to me. And it actually depends on the time that I wake up. Today I woke up by past 6 because past 6 is like my final you got to wake up girl thing. And the reason is I work in a radio station and my show is in the afternoons from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. But I help with the recording of the Al Quickie, which is a short form 60 seconds news by 9 a.m. So I have to wake up by 6 so that my voice has about an hour or two to wake up so that I would be in the best form to record the news at 9 a.m. from my house with my phone. I do that. It's pretty fun, I guess. But that's just one of the many other things that I do. So the other time that I have for waking up is actually 4 a.m. And the reason I wake up by 4 a.m. is because the entire world is asleep by that time, which means I have the quiet to think and to write. I have my laptop with me here, so I usually write from 4 a.m. But the reason I woke up by 6 a.m. is because on Sunday, well, this weekend, I was having my period, and my sleep schedule on my period is usually the worst. And I've been trying to shift it back before Monday. It didn't really work, so I stayed awake all night on Sunday to avoid being late for Monday. Oh my god, my lips are so dry. Okay, I'm gonna apply lip balm later. I did all of that just so I can make it to work. I made it to work, but I was really sleepy. And when I got home, I just ate dinner, watched anime for a couple of hours, and I passed out. Okay, so aside from writing an out quickie, there are things that I do in the morning. For example, I started learning Korean. I'm still in the learning Hangul phase and learning how to piece things together. So some of these days when I'm doing day in the life, if I ever make those type of videos, you could see me just randomly just sitting there learning Korean. And then that's because that's what I do. That is what I do. Okay. So that's basically it. Or I read a book. There are books that I read. But early in the morning I try to read things that I want to learn from, not necessarily reading for pleasure. So, if there's something that I'm studying, like international relations or diplomatic ties between countries, or recently I was reading on, I still have to do a video on that. Oh my God. I was reading on the America First health program that Nigeria and over 14 other African countries signed into with the US president. And, basically just reading everything about it. And I was reading like a 40-page document on it. I do that in the morning because, when you wake up in the morning, your brain is fresh. You have so much more clarity, and you understand things a lot better, which is why I actually did it that morning, or I usually do it in the morning. But I do have other things that I read, but sometimes I just listen to music and like have a slow morning. Oh yeah. And some of the times the things that I read is my Bible, because I'm like, you know what, today is gonna be the turn for my Bible. And it's length, so there's gonna be a lot more spiritual meditation going on in my life. I do want to do better in my life spiritually, because you walk on this earth, you live in Lagos or any part of the world right now, you will see so much evil that made you go, I finally understand why God decided to destroy this earth and just flood it all with water. Because, like, some of you are just evil. I'm sorry. Like, that's just the truth, rather. So, yeah, I'm gonna write for a couple of minutes because, like I said, my show is by 1 o'clock, but I do try to get to work before 12 because I like to partake in like a little interaction with the person that has the second show of the day, make weekend. And yeah, I try to make it to work before then. And sometimes I take the news by 12. Sometimes I do that. But anyway, I really don't know if I'm gonna be recording bits from the office or anything. But this entire thing is basically just, I don't even know if I'm gonna edit this video. I really don't know. This is just a Antoinette learn how to vlog once again era. And it feels like there's a lot of content coming out from me because, I do my radio interviews and I post them on YouTube and I share the link to you guys to watch. And sometimes there are videos on my Instagram, which are collaborative posts between my radio station and me. And I know it may look overwhelming, but the thing is, I want to do this for me. I don't want my job to be my entire personality. It cannot be my entire personality. I'm so much more. Plus, I still write. What am I going to do when my book comes out? I'm going to need to tell you about the book. I'm going to need to tell you about how much progress that I've made writing since I got this laptop. Like, there's so much that I have to tell you. So many things that happened to me in the city that I feel like it's crazy. I have to tell someone. And I'm like, I have like 200 and something gossip partners on YouTube. So why don't I just do that? And that's why I'm making this videos. That's why I'm making this video. So I'm gonna do like a time lapse video ish thing of me writing for a couple hours. I have until 10 a.m. to get ready. So now it's almost 7 a.m. So I have until 10 a.m. to get ready, and I'm not gonna show you that part, but maybe I'll show you what I wear to work. But yeah, time lapse it is. So since I'm coming back to recording videos again, you're gonna see a lot more of this earpiece because I found out that the audio on these are so much better than my phone. It sounds just like a mic. And like I even have like a Bluetooth mic, and this sounds so much better than my mic. And yes, I know my mic was really cheap and I got when I was still in school and all that. But I prefer this. I prefer this. So I'm gonna go with this. It sounds so much better in my head, like when I'm like narrating stuff. But anyway, the lip balm. I don't know what I'm going to write today, and I'm not even sure where I should start from. I'm currently in the first quarter of 2026. I am working on my Nigerian fantasy whip, which with a working title African Thunderstorm. The more I write, the more I realize that, girl, maybe we really do need to come up with a proper title for this book. But we're still writing. So probably when I'm in like second or third draft, I could come up with a proper title that isn't too cringe or cliche, which is why I left it at African Thunderstorm right now. So I am currently in chapter 20. This video just got interrupted by my alarm telling me to check if I have been giving the Quick News script. It's 7:15 right now. But yeah. So where was I? I said I'm in chapter 24. Right. Yeah. Chapter 24. And I've gotten to a place where the male main character rescues the female main character from getting kidnapped. But they have to do the do afterwards. And let's just say I'm not very inspired to write a romantic scene right now because, well, one, for one, there's nothing romantic happening in my life. There is nothing romantic happening in my life. And for two, I haven't been. This feels so awkward to say on camera. I don't know. Am I gonna include this in the video? Um, I don't know. I'm just not inspired to write anything sexual right now, but I need to be inspired to write something sexual. What am I gonna do? You know, there was somebody that I saw a post. Someone was like, "Oh my god, why is sex so like one process that there aren't enough words to um to describe the sexual process, and now it feels like all smut sounds the same." And I never want to be that person. I want people who are reading my book that has sexual scenes, because actually not all of my book will have scenes like that. It's not all of my books that are even gonna have romantic elements. This one just happens to be a Nigerian romantasy series. It is romantasy as in fantasy and romance. And it was the first thing that I started writing. Okay, second thing. The first thing was my Wattpad book. Oh my god, what was the title? It's actually my most read Wattpad book. That was the first time I ever explored romance, and people liked it. You can go check it out on Wattpad. My Wattpad account is actually linked to it, so if you like go through my profile, you find a place where you could just like tap a link and go straight to my Wattpad and read my stories. So yeah, I'm not inspired to write a sexy scene right now, but I have to write it because I've procrastinated for so long. So I don't know if I'm gonna be writing the sexy scene, but or I'm gonna be writing something else. But there are other chapters. Like right now, I have the plot right down to the epilogue. Um, it could be longer, but currently I have drafted plot lines for 32 chapters, and I'm in chapter 24 right now, which means I have 25 to 32 left to write. And I do not know if I will be able to get it done by March, but that is the goal since I started in January. But realistically, right now, I feel like I could get maybe to chapter 30. I do not think I can get to the epilogue before the end of the first quarter of 2026, but realistically, I think I can get to chapter 30. So I'm going to try doing that. And we've still got time in February, so probably my goal for February is probably to get to maybe chapter 26, so that writing 27 to 30 might be a lot more easier for me. And one thing about me as a writer is I do not force myself to write when I do not feel like I should be writing. Because I learned from RM, the leader of BTS, that if you do not feel like creating at a particular time, then probably you shouldn't be creating, because you need to live your life first before you create art. Like why I'm facing a block with romantic scenes, because I haven't been feeling any romance at all for like 2 years. So yeah, this is actually the cue for anybody who's watching this. You can't ask me out on a date. I'm very likely to say yes, even if like just to experience it. I'm gonna be planning more solo dates too. Like maybe it's self love that's the problem. Maybe it's that. Maybe it's that. So yeah, I'm gonna go right now before I say something I shouldn't say.